let's talk about the trimesters, the first trimester. What should one expect from the first trimester to the third trimester?
Okay, so pregnancy is divided into three. We have the first, second, and third trimester. And to answer a question that was asked earlier, when is the best time to start antenatal clinics? The best time is preconceptionally, and by that I mean before you actually get pregnant.
Ooh.
So we always advise mothers to come in at least when you're planning to get pregnant, because there are advices that we give you to help you in the preconception period, and some medication that we also start you on. If someone has conditions in the preconception period, we can be able to manage the conditions beforehand, adjust your medications to the pregnancy-friendly medications before you start the pregnancy. Once you're pregnant, then we call it the antenatal clinics. Now you're pregnant. So at that point in time, if possibly you discover you're pregnant, whichever time it is, be it early, be it late, you should start your clinics. The best time though will stand at first trimester, because in the first trimester is when everything is developing. Everything, I mean, from the brain down to your limbs, down to the baby's limbs. There are medications that are prescribed in the first trimester because these medications help in preventing what we call neural tube defects. That is basically the central nervous system abnormalities. So the first 3 months is the most essential time to be able to be on those medication. If you have a chronic illness, for instance, diabetes, hypertension, HIV, then it's best to optimize the treatment at this point in time, because that will determine the outcome of this pregnancy and your entire journey.
Whoa.
Yes.
So the first 3 months.
Yes.
You've spoken about some of, like some advice that you'd give pre
Yes.
conception.
Yes.
What's some of the advice that
Good question.
that you'd give?
Okay. So preconceptionally, then we would want to advise patients about smoking, about drinking. We can't assume that our mothers do not do these things. They do, and it's okay. So we want to tell you to stop smoking, preferably before you actually conceive. We want to advise you to either cut on your alcohol intake or ultimately just stop taking alcohol preconceptionally. Again, as I'd said earlier on, there's some conditions which patients have that need the treatment to be optimized. For instance, if someone is hypertensive, there's a medication that they take during their normal days when they're not pregnant that are not safe in pregnancy. So we want to see you beforehand and stop this medication, or rather change them to medications which are safe in pregnancy. There are some conditions like diabetes which, depending on where you are at in terms of your sugar control, would either tell you to postpone your pregnancy or start you on medication before you actually get pregnant, because it tends to get worse in pregnancy. Mm-hmm. Yes.
The first trimester, which you've said is the most important among the 3 trimesters, yes. And in most cases, that's when we have morning sicknesses. Because women are nauseated at that time. That's when you can't keep anything in. How is it risky for the baby at that time? Because I'm thinking like the baby needs to feed at this point, or rather you need to be eating at this point.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So those conditions, we call them common ailments. I'll call them common because they're not that bad, but then if not managed well, they could progress to become something very severe. So for instance, the common illnesses which we have in the first trimester would be nausea and vomiting in pregnancy. We simply call it nausea and vomiting in pregnancy. If it becomes severe, now we call it big words like hyperemesis gravidarum, which could be so bad that it could lead to even kidney failure. So nausea and vomiting is okay. It's a symptom of pregnancy. Faith said she did not know she was pregnant until she started feeling the nausea. So sometimes someone would not know they're actually pregnant until they start feeling the nausea, the fatigue, and breast tenderness. So for some people, that is how it goes for them. Other common ailments that we have in first trimester could be just a simple heartburn, which you can manage very well by giving you the common antacids that will just help you to relieve the symptoms. So the common ailments are not so severe. They're not so bad if they're managed well. But in case you don't get to manage them adequately, then it becomes something that needs you to be hospitalized.
Okay. Yes.